Okay, good evening, everyone. I want to call order this regular January 16th, 2024 council meeting. Please rise for the invocation to remain standing for the pledge.
Have prayer. Heavenly Father, as we begin the meeting this evening, we want to begin recognizing who you are, the God of the universe, sovereign over all. Thank you, Lord, for the lives that you have created in this room. We pray that you would bless each soul here, and we know that even in your sovereignty, there are times when we need to make decisions. We need to operate in our free will, the ability that you've given us to make good decisions. And so we ask that you would bless this group tonight, those in front of me, those beside me, and those behind me, that you would just give them wisdom, give them guidance, give them your counsel, that the decisions made here tonight would be honoring to you and would bless these people and bless this community. We thank you for all of these blessings, and we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is verbal roll call of council members present for the vote.
Councilmember Law.
Present.
Councilmember Back.
Present.
Councilmember Joy.
Present.
Councilmember Perkins.
Present.
Councilmember Sexton.
Present.
Vice Mayor Atkins.
Present.
Mayor Nicholson.
Present. Next is the approval of the January 2nd, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Are there any corrections or changes to these minutes? All those in favor of accepting these minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Appointment to the municipal boards. Requesting consideration for appointment of Carol McMahon to vacancy on the personal appeal board.
Excuse me. My wife sent me up here on her behalf to state that she had sent an email prior to the deadline and was not responded to.
Okay, we'll discuss that with new business or cover public comments afterwards. Thank you. Requesting consideration for appointment of Carol McMahon to vacancy on personnel appeal board with a term ending 12/31/26. Do I have a motion to appoint?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Joy.
Yes.
Councilmember Law.
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins.
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson.
No.
Councilmember Sexton.
No.
Vice Mayor Atkins.
No.
Councilmember Back.
No.
Count 3 yes, 4 no. Motion does not carry.
Requesting consideration for appointment of Carol McMahon to vacancy of Parks and Recreation Board with the term ending 12/31/2025. Do I have a motion to appoint?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Atkins.
No.
Councilmember Law.
Yes.
Councilmember Joy.
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins.
No.
Councilmember Back.
No.
Mayor Nicholson.
No.
Councilmember Sexton.
No.
Count 2 yes, 5 no. Motion does not carry.
And next will be public comments addressing any ordinance and or resolutions on the agenda tonight. Anyone from the public wishing to address tonight's resolution or ordinances? First person, oh, I'm sorry. First one will be Tim Batt, 31 East Main Street. This is just on the resolution.
Yeah, well, I just needed to make public comments, and had some things I wanted to address, so I must have signed the wrong sheet.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Shannon Bemis, 130 Brownwood.
So are we going on this with the school? Pardon me, are we going in on this with the school?
The school will provide some money, yes.
So do you know what the total is?
The total is around 165,000,
And then how much was the grant for?
50,000.
And so then we will split the 115,000.
And yeah, and we put in 60,000 for our portion, and the school will come up with around 50.
Okay, and then will this have, is this rebuilding it or is it just redoing it?
Rebuilding.
So it's totally taking it down, rebuilding it. And it's gonna have tennis courts, pickleball and basketball.
Not just tennis and pickleball. That's what the grant's for.
Okay, well, there was discussion before about that.
There was.
Okay, that's what I want clarification. And when are you guys thinking to see this?
We can't do anything until this resolution passes and we sign the agreement with the ODNR.
Okay, so still a little bit. Okay, that's it, thanks.
Next on the agenda is old business.
I was not here last month, but, I do see that you guys reappointed George Marcus to the replanning board. I kind of have a problem with that. The first time I was at a meeting at the zoning board with George Marcus, he tried to sway me to vote a certain way, even though I voted totally different. And I don't think that's something that we need for on our boards that's gonna be trying to influence votes. Just my opinion.
Anybody else on council?
Yes, I have some old business. I would like to bring forth a motion to review resolution 23-15 of the municipal manager's contract due to a council member stating on public record that they did not have time to go over the paperwork and review it within time. And I believe personally that every council member should have time to review paperwork and to do due diligence to this town and as a council member. So I would like to start a motion for that if possible.
I don't know. We don't have legal counsel here, so I'm not really sure.
Can we table that until we can get some legal advice to see what's the best direction to do on that?
Absolutely, that's fine.
Why would you table a resolution? You're not voting, you're not, it's just to review it, or to get into it.
We're not sure how the process has to work. We need legal counsel to see how, whether or not you can even do that.
You can make a motion without. Violation, got it.
Give me 1 second. So is there any way we can find out if we are, as Ms. Bemis stated, if that is something that we are able to do since there's no legal guidance required for that?
Can't we just vote on it?
Yeah.
What are you voting on?
To bring
For what you said?
the resolution of the contract from 2023-15, the municipal manager's contract back under review.
Well,
Just to review it, if this passes, if Keeler says there's no grounds for it, then nothing happens.
but I mean, I don't know
So
the
the
answer,
motion
so
isn't-
because
the
the
motion-
motion is to,
Is to bring back the contract so that everybody can look at it and have time, because the issue that I have.
I mean, I can give you all copies of the contract, and you can review them.
I would like to do it as a council though, because as stated, I believe it was Ms. Adkins stated during that council meeting that she did not have time to go through her packet and review it because she received it late.
I actually received it that Monday
That's
at
right.
9 a.m.
So, and
When
that,
you reviewed it, you did review it, page
It
by
was already
page.
voted on before I got received.
so I believe that should be brought back
Yeah.
forth in front of the council, because I believe every council member should have time in order to go through the process and do due diligence to this town on passing of any type of contract for any means whatsoever. And I would like to call a motion to bring the contract back to council for further review. Do I have a motion?
A second.
Roll call.
I think that's, what she's making, are you making a motion, or are you seconding a motion?
You made the motion,
No, he asked for a motion.
Make the
then
last.
I make first.
There a second?
Second,
Roll call, please, sir.
I made the motion.
Everybody wants to look at the contract.
Who did the second?
I did.
I'm sorry, I can't hear the conversation.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk on the bar.
No, sorry.
Speaking to
Councilman.
council, please.
Councilmember Locke?
No, because we do not have our law gentleman here. I'd like to talk to him about some things as well.
Councilmember Perkins?
I'm
going to abstain. Mayor Nickerson?
I'm gonna have to stay from it.
Vice Mayor Atkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Back?
Yes.
Councilmember Sexton?
Yes.
Councilmember George?
Abstain.
Sidebar.
There was not enough.
Okay, I would like to make a motion on something. Can we just table it for right now until we can get the proper guidance? Can we do that? Can we just table it? Until we find out?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yep.
I believe in doing it. Let's do it the right way, let's do it the correct way, follow the proper guidelines and procedures. So can we table it, have a motion for just tabling?
Yeah.
Cross.
I second.
Second,
She first, I second.
okay, Mr. Hanson, we do the roll call again, please.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I second.
Councilmember Locke?
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins?
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson?
Yes.
Councilmember Atkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Back?
Yes.
Councilmember Sexton?
Yes.
Councilmember Joy?
Yes.
Okay, 7 yes, 0 no. Motion to table carries.
Any other old business?
Yes, one last thing. I believe, Ms. Farley brought up the annexation of the, property for the housing development. I'm not sure if it would fall under the guidelines, but once we have legal guidance here, I suggest that maybe we look into the ruling from the Ohio, from, not the Ohio, but from the Supreme Court of Kelo versus New London.
And I'm gonna hold off on that table as well.
Absolutely.
So what is, what,
So I'm just suggesting that we look into, with the annexation, that we look into the ruling for the Supreme Court on Kelo versus New London.
So you just wanna look into that as
Yes.
far as annexation is
Yes,
concerned?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I don't think that has to be tabled or anything, that
No,
can just be brought back up
No,
as
yeah,
old
I just wanted to
business.
make note on that because that was old business, someone had brought it up.
versus what?
New London.
New London,
New London.
it was in I think it was 2004, is when that,
How long is it gonna take?
as long as it takes, I guess, for the law director.
Let
to
the
look
law
into-
director review it.
Yeah,
I mean, this goes, let's say, this gonna mess the annexation up for 11?
well,
We're talking,
this is the thing, if it's then, if it goes against the ruling of the Supreme Court, then it's unconstitutional.
You're saying annexations are unconstitutional?
It depends on the ruling of what the law director finds for the ruling of Kelo versus New London, if that partakes to the annexation. That's why I asked for the law director to review that.
haven't we ever annexed any other?
We have,
So what's the difference between annexing?
It depends on the type and how things are proceeded in the annexations.
Montgomery County said it was okay, didn't it?
we haven't submitted it there yet, but we've done other annexations, yes, and other places have done
But I believe this
annexations.
is borderline falling under eminent domain, right?
No.
No?
It's an annexation.
You talk about, property taxes there, but if those houses are built for 11,
You're right on that, but I also feel that there is a place off of Church Street that has already had sewers and has been sitting there vacant for many years, and I kind of question why that wasn't an area of interest when trying to develop new housing as well.
Is that area for sale?
I would imagine it probably would be up for sale, considering that it, at times, since, for as long as I can remember, it has had sewer grades and has the whole shebang laid out for it, so I'm just wondering why that wasn't looked into first, because it seems like something was done with that and the work wasn't finished and it never got taken care of. So that's just my personal point on that.
we're just talking one house.
No, this is acre, I don't know the exact amount of acreage, but I know there's a decent amount of land that already has like, I think the sewers have already been ran, it has the sewer drain caps, and it's just in a field, and it's been there for as long as I can remember.
Did somebody run out of money?
I don't know, I honestly don't know, but with that having already infrastructure in place, my question would be why we haven't tried to do anything with that rather than try to go in and do new areas, when that area has already some things that are more suitable for the needs of a housing development.
You
But you
went,
have to have a developer come in and want that area.
Right, but we could always try to sell them that area, which I believe would
We
fall
don't
under.
own that
your
area.
Right?
We don't own that, so we can't sell them that. That
Do
property
we-
has to be for sale
Do we
by
own- Do
someone.
we own the area that we are trying to annex?
No,
So then that falls under the same category too, we don't own that either.
correct. The lady selling it would like to sell it to a developer who would like to develop it. To do that, they have to be annexed into the village.
I understand that, but we already have property within the village that has stuff that's set up for the infrastructure for that, is what I'm getting at.
Church Street.
Yes.
Who owns that property?
I offhand though.
I mean, would it be worth to reach out to them and see if they're even interested?
I'm just throwing that out there because that's a decent.
Are you talking about the 100 acres on Church Street?
I'm not exactly sure if it's 100 acres or what the acres is. What I'm saying is that there's land that has already had pre-structure built that would work for housing development. And I think that with that being there, you would think that that would be a great place to.
And I'm not gonna disagree with you, Timmy. I agree that that's a great idea, but if you don't have a developer coming in wanting that property, or you don't have someone selling that property,
Right.
then a
Well, I guess-
development's
I guess
not
what I'm
going to
saying is
happen there.
Maybe we should look into it, which I believe, I think.
If
what
it's
was-
the 100 acres, if that's what you're talking about, we've told them that there's 100 acres there. They don't want to develop that much property. This developer does not.
Just throwing ideas out there.
No, I'm not
Things to-
disagreeing.
Things to look into, because
I'm not disagreeing.
at one point in time, somebody did start doing something there, and then they didn't finish what that was, the means of that, I'm not sure.
And I don't know how far back that goes.
Glenna, how many, acres was they looking at?
Around 23 is what that property is.
So that's a lot big old.
It's a lot
Yeah.
bigger.
Okay.
But I would like to also find out if it is 100 acres or roughly, that would be just something to look into, if we find something, you know.
You ask the manager to look into it then?
I mean, I could look into
Yeah.
it. I'm just saying that if a developer's not interested in 100 acres,
Yeah.
They're not
If you
gonna-
wouldn't mind, I
they're
mean,
not gonna
just-
develop 100 acres.
Yeah,
And if
that's
it's
fine.
not for sale, they're definitely not gonna.
Yeah, just let me know, get back to me on that,
Okay.
and then that's,
No, I have something after if he's done.
yes, I'm finished.
So, Glenna, you used to, like, old business. When I was on the other side and I appreciated it, you started out with you touched on the things from like the last meeting. You started out with that kind of as we were going to the meeting. I think we need to get back to that because I can tell you, I appreciated that sitting out there, and it helped me understand. And just kind of let me know where we were at from the meeting before. Also, 145 Parkview, my street, I couldn't even say it. Did we ever find out what's going on there and why the cones are still there? Going on a year now?
Yeah, that's not ours. If the owners are gonna have to do something with that, it looks like whoever they had survey it actually went into and destroyed piping underneath.
So it's just washing away? Is the pipe, is it?
Yeah, basically, I mean, there's a hole there.
Okay. Do they know that? Have they been contacted?
I believe so.
They have. Okay. And that's all I have.
Anybody else?
So, is that annexation then on hold until you get your response from the attorney?
Don't think I can put an annexation on hold, all I'm asking is that the law director look into it and just make sure that everything is okay with that, and that it's not violating anything, that's it.
I mean, the bottom line is you guys are gonna have to decide whether you wanna go ahead with the annexation or not.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
mean,
just bringing it up,
if
it's something to look at.
I guess,
Stopping it.
I guess under old business, well, I might as well get a straw vote on that, like, where does everyone stand on this? Because if you guys aren't comfortable with an annexation at all, this is a lot of work for the law director, myself, and everyone else. And the developers put a lot of work in already, planning board's already approved it pending the annexation.
You're not allowed to preempt this call.
So, you know, just so I can get kind of an idea, so we can continue on down the road, and then we'll do the resolution and anything else down the road.
I'm good with it.
So just kind of where everybody stands.
Yes, that's fine.
The council voted on it before.
Are we,
Are we?
I'm just
are
getting,
we,
no, I'm just getting a head count, like where we're at and where everybody's head is, kind of a conversation, like where's everybody at?
I'm not for it.
You're not for the annexation?
No.
I'm in the middle.
You're looking for more information?
Yes.
That's fine. Same, more information? Okay, just so I know what I'm doing.
Because
Yeah,
like we discussed, it's not a set in
Yeah.
stone.
It's correct.
It's not for us and.
correct.
Basically, I'd like to see the benefits, what New Lebanon's gonna gain from this annexation versus not, you know.
What are we gaining if we?
Property taxes.
You're
Property
getting property
taxes and income
taxes,
taxes.
and then you're getting, they're using our water and sewer, so we're getting that too. So there is some gain
The
that
school
we'll
gains
get in
students.
schools instead of being,
Open enrollment.
yeah, we have so much open enrollment right now, and if we could get more of our students in New Lebanon in the schools, then we won't have to have so many open enrollments coming in.
You can't guarantee that.
That, we used to not have open enrollment.
Yeah.
So it worked just fine.
When I say contact between you and school.
It worked just fine.
Okay, good.
Yes, it did.
When did they start open enrollment then? Cause
May I ask a question? Glenn, have you talked to Dr. Williams about this?
I have talked to Dr. Williams about
What is
this.
his opinion on,
He's excited to have more homes and more places in the village.
And we will get rid of open enrollment if we do this, is that what you said? Did you say that?
Roughly 15 years, roughly 15 years.
an open enrollment?
Mhm.
Did somebody else ask that? Did Dr. Williams say we'll get rid of open enrollment if this subdivision goes through? She's not answering me.
He will not.
We don't know.
Is that something that has been asked?
Open enrollment won't go away unless we have enough students to fill our schools. If we have space in the schools, then open enrollment should be there still. Cause that's what most schools does.
Some do tuitions, but yeah, a lot of them. do.
Now but right now it's just open enrollment. Are they charging them when they come over?
No.
So it's just, okay.
And I went to a meeting, Perry Township meeting, and I heard from the people here, and I'm just, my heart says it's just not right.
Is it Perry Township or Jackson? I thought.
It's Jackson.
Or
That was
Jackson.
Jackson. That's what I.
We went, yeah, that's.
When
where
you
the
say
meeting-
Perry Township, I think I'm talking about something totally different. That's why I asked, sorry.
And then just real quick, so if the votes for Carol were no, how does that work? Is this reposted?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
And typically, if I can ask something on that, since it'll be reposted, what will be time to fill that out and have that turned back in? Is there like a deadline, a time period? Is it set, like you have 30 days after it's posted, 60 days?
We usually try to do about 15 days,
Okay.
20 days.
Did we have
so that it can
anybody
be on there.
else that signed up?
Yes.
Yes, you do. And no email was answered, and she's got receipts.
Let's clarify that, okay?
She's got the receipts.
The mayor and I received emails on the 14th and the 15th from Mrs. Farley. The letters of interest were due by the 11th.
is that correct?
Mayor?
Yeah, that's what I received also.
She has receipts.
So that is why there was only one person on the agenda for that.
Actually, they received emails too, yes.
Oh, well, if the mayor's having problems with his emails, maybe my wife's just didn't come through either, right, Glenn?
Anyone know?
No, not pertaining to this, no.
Anything you did?
Double checking, give me 1 second. Oh. I do want to bring this up because it was also stated by a member of the public, a request for a state audit from an outside source.
Okay, our audits are done every 2 years and they're done by Perry and Associates, which is an outside source.
Can I make a motion to get it done by somebody else,
State on.
Then Perry,
like state auditor?
it goes to the state auditor after Perry and Associates do the audit.
Who pays for
It
this?
goes to the Ohio Auditor of State.
Okay.
Who's gonna pay for this?
Everyone pays for their own audits.
So you don't cost us money.
Yep.
Anything else?
Attendance was also brought to our attention on Scott and Melody for 2023. Some said that Scott was and wasn't at attendance for all the meetings, and then I believe Miss Bemis said that Melody wasn't. Is there any way we can get a copy of how many meetings they attended and the requirements of the attending the meetings?
The requirements are that they attend 1 a quarter. That was brought up at the end of the first quarter last year, and they attended 1 a quarter after that.
So we have records showing that they attended all the required meetings.
Well, except first quarter.
except for.
Mhm.
Melody missed one.
I can go back and verify it.
Okay, and that would be it for old business for me.
New business? Resolution 2024-01, a resolution accepting the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, ODNR, Nature Works Grant Round 29 for the purpose of reconstruction of the tennis courts at Don Ross Park and authorizing the municipal manager to enter into an agreement with ODNR. Is there any council comments about that? Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2024-01?
So,
Second.
Can I get the roll call, please?
Yes. Councilmember Locke,
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins,
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Atkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Back,
Yes.
Councilmember Sexton,
yes.
Councilmember Joy.
No.
Count 6 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
Next is public comments or questions. I'll give your name and address for the record, and please approach the podium and state what you'd like to talk about. As you can see, we didn't mention the 5-minute, so we're gonna kind of do a trial run and see how that works. Just I ask that you be forward in what you're saying and give your other citizens in the back here an opportunity to speak should they want to, okay? So let's start off with Josh Farley, 136 Brownwood Street, please.
Here on Natasha's plan, just to state the email thing, but we've already covered that. I did, I guess, have something that I wanted to say, because I don't know that I had a chance to address the council again for some time. We'll find out Thursday and Friday. But, and it's unfortunate that Mr. Keener's not here, he can say this to his face. If Mr. Keener felt that last week was a great time to read off our charter rules again for another long-winded speech, I wholeheartedly disagree. I think that it was a disgraceful event on the night that a man was being sworn in as the mayor, that a man as the law director would come here and admit to the public that the charter was written quite literally to supersede the power of the highest official in the city and place that in power of someone who was hired and not voted on. That to me is a crazy thing and appalling. I heard it and it dropped me. I have read your guys' charter, but I guess only for the things that suited me, and I feel really ashamed of it. I should have read the thing from cover to cover. I have now. I am covered now and I know why it was written. I think you guys need to rescind that thing and bring us back to a constitutional order. There are plenty of laws around to guide us in what to do. There are plenty of Ohio ordinances to guide us in what to do. We do not need a charter overstepping the vote of the people in the highest seat in this city and giving it to a person who is hired to sit there. That is crazy. That is the craziest. I'll move on. The reason that it's been brought up, I don't know who brought it up, but I have too, because I've just been digging on you guys because I saw the corruption from the beginning. My grandmother always told me I could smell a snake in the grass from a mile away. I knew a liar the second I saw him. So the reason that Glenn is fighting so hard on this rescinding of the order, and the reason that we're trying to scare everybody into saying that we need to talk to our legal director and see if you're absolutely able. As a council member, just for your knowledge, I've already looked this all up for you. It's a quick Google. It takes about 2 minutes. And you can find out that you're able to rescind any order to review again because you believe that it was done improperly. Well, Nicole Atkins is on record stating that she did not have proper time to evaluate the information, and by Ohio state law, it states that she has to have the time to go through the packet of information to make an educated vote. It was a breach in the entirety to vote on it that night, at all.
And she should have voted no.
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything.
Has everything to do with
It
I
has
did vote
nothing
no
to do
that
with it.
night.
She did vote no. She voted no, and she told everybody she did not have time to review it. I apologize.
Comments up to the council, please.
I don't understand why he's upset with me, but
Excuse me.
She looks-
Let me, so this ends this. I did vote no that night, and I also did ask to be tabled that night, so I could get more time to look at it all. So that's that. Thank you.
Can I make a comment on that real quick?
please,
Okay, when you deal with contracts, sir, I mean, you addressed it, I would like to address your concern. When you're dealing with a contract and you have an elected board to vote and review that, would you like all members to have the right to review something? Or would you want people not doing due diligence to the community to have their voice heard?
I was a mayor for
She
12 years.
got-
I know all this.
And I appreciate your service, but she got it Monday. She
I got it Monday at 9 AM.
that's
Yeah,
all.
Monday, while everybody else got theirs, I believe, was stated on Saturday.
It is. But look it up, it's human Google. I would like to identify the man who just interrupted me. Who is he related to on this panel?
No one.
No one, then what is your concern?
Okay. Mr. Farley, can we have some, we need to have some order.
Absolutely, I apologize, Mayor. This man
Well,
is,
it's for everybody.
I understand.
This-
I apologize.
This is not an argumentative session.
I'm out of line.
You know, I'm allowing, we're moving a 5-minute rule out to have you guys come up and voice your concerns, which we're
I
listening
didn't
to.
feel I was going to
Okay,
return.
so that's what we're trying to do, okay? So you.
Tonight is the last chance that you have to rescind this because her contract goes into effect. If you do not rescind this order before it goes into effect, she legally can hold you responsible for this contract. Mr. Mann back here should know because he just spoke about how he knows so much about contracts. As soon as they go into effect, you can be held liable in the court of law. And until you appeal it, it'll be a long drawn out process. It'll cost the city of New Lebanon a lot of money. Anyway, the reason that it was brought up early is because Linda knew that the new council wouldn't possibly vote on it so quite quickly if they had read through it and saw the adjustments that she had made just prior to getting a buddy on her team to vote for her. Everybody can see the corruption in the room. We can smell it. Council members did express their grievances. We've gone through this all together. Just going through it 4 months early was a complete breach of the contract in the first place. It should be null and void. We shouldn't even be talking about it at this point. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Shannon Bemis, 130 Brownwood.
Well, I guess I'm gonna kind of say something about that. My first thing was gonna be time limit, so I appreciate you guys giving us a little leeway with this as it should. First of all, and I don't know you, I don't have any issues with this man, but the thing is that you guys have always claimed about you want order in your meetings and stuff, but to sit here and entertain somebody who's not podium and not recognized per the words of council members up here, that's wrong. Mr. Farley was recognized and stood at this podium during his time. He's the one that was out of order. So if anybody should be warned or gavelled or said anything to, it's that man back there. First of all. Second of all, as far as the contract goes, remove Glenna. Let's like just say the contract, because this isn't about Glenna, because Glenna, I don't think that anybody wants you gone. However, with that being said, it's a ridiculous contract, and shame on every single council member that's up here right now that said yes to it. I mean, shame. You're telling me that you even had one council member up here that says, hold on, what did you say? It was already voted on before you got to see it? Really? I don't understand that. That is absolutely ridiculous. I view you completely different now because if this is true, and I view you completely different. And you, Lyndon, because do you understand what that contract states? Do you understand that your job is to protect the village and to protect citizens and to protect our hardworking tax money? And all you did was fill her pocket with more money. And I shouldn't say her because I don't care if it was my husband sitting with her. I'd say it was an awful decision. You guys did not discuss the contract in public. To my record, I went through the meeting minutes, I've been in all the meetings. Why wasn't it discussed in an open meeting? You should not be conducting business in an executive session if that's where it was done, because I didn't hear anything in public session. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is really, I guess, more directed towards Gail, Lyndon, and Tammy, because you guys are amicable, because you guys are newer. This contract was not read, because I will tell you right now, if you read that contract, ethically, you would not have signed it. You basically just said, here, I'm gonna sell my $500,000 house to you for $10. You sold this village out. You sold it out for a friend, for a person. I'm not saying, did you guys even do your, how do you do your annual evaluation on her before the year's even up? Did you do that? Did you guys do an evaluation on her?
I did.
Did you, Tammy?
I did.
Did you, Lyndon?
I don't understand what you said.
Did you do an employee evaluation on her?
Still,
Did you, Nicole?
Yeah, that was about a month ago.
After the contract was signed?
Yes.
Wow. So you did an employee evaluation on somebody after, and please, Glenn, I hate this because this is not about you. I would tell council right now to redo your contract based off of the previous terms for however long you want, but to sit here and to increase and give the perks and benefits and pay increase and allowances that you guys gave to a person, absolutely ridiculous. And I will tell you right now, I don't care. I know that Ms. Farley asked for an investigation, but I would like it on previous council, on anybody that had anything to do with this contract. I would also like an investigation done. I am formally requesting that. You're not gonna put me under the rug like you do everybody else. You're not gonna blow me away. I want status updates. I want contact. I want communication. This is not right. This is not right. I don't even know the words for it. Because the people that were sitting up here, like I said, you have the fiduciary responsibility. That's what you guys swore to uphold to do. That's a joke. Shame on you. Ridiculous. And previous council members, shame on all of you. And Lyndon, shame on you. And I love you. I coached your granddaughter for many, many years. Shame on you. You know better. Ridiculous. So yes, I would like that to be looked at. You guys voted on a contract that you hadn't even seen? Do you hear that? Listen to yourselves. Do you sign a mortgage agreement before even negotiating a price? Do you go and buy a house and sign a mortgage agreement without even asking what the total is? Do you? That's what you did. Shame on all of you. You don't need the law director to sit here and have a motion to review something. Now, I agree, you shouldn't sit here and say, I want to change it or whatever, but you know what? At least make a motion to review it. You need to review the resolution that was done tonight to vote on the contract, and then you need to review the contract legally, not in closed doors, because you know what? Executive sessions, they're told by the state, try to use them as very little as possible, because they want openness. In this council, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, I expect answers. And this is my number one right now. That's wrong. Oh my gosh, how sickening. Sick. Now I'm pissed. As far as the annexation goes, there's pros and cons to it. I've never heard previous council discuss it. Did you guys discuss it in a public setting? I never heard a straw vote. I never heard anybody's opinion. Anybody against it? Anybody for it? What are the pros and cons? Thank you, Nicole Atkins, for bringing up the pros and cons. Yes, it's gonna bring us tax revenue, but you know what? It is gonna be a burden on our water system. It is gonna be a burden on our sewer system. That is out of date. We have not maintained, cannot handle the load. Then get an engineer out here to check. I wanna see it in writing. I don't want your word. I don't want Scott Brock's word. And then you wanna sit here and take on what you said, 23 acres of new properties? You can't even maintain what we have. Ronwood, corner of Broadwood and 35. My street sign, the stop sign with my saying Broadwood has been leaned over for 10 years. She's brought up this house on Parkview. She's brought that up for it's been 2 years, it'll be 2 years this spring, not one. All these things that we bring up for years, and it's like, oh, they're just what, you guys can't even maintain what you have. Until you can maintain where I live, you have no right to take on more responsibility, none. 2 new SUVs, what are those doing in the parking lot? What are those for? There's 2 new SUVs, what are those for?
Police,
There's 2 new police cruisers.
there's a new police cruiser, yes.
So there's a black one, I think, and a gray one, right?
There's an unmarked and a marked
What budget were those taken out of?
police budget.
Okay, what year? What year were those budgeted for?
24. Well, one came out of Gov Deals.
24. I thought that you
Are we in
guys
24?
pushed that to 25.
I know we moved it.
To
Detective,
25.
The detective part, yes,
that one was moved.
yes.
There were no other
Out of
cars.
capital. That was moved out of capital.
But I don't even remember any police cars in the budget.
There was one unmarked for a detective.
That was
You had it
moved.
moved to 2025.
Yes.
Correct.
So we purchased these 2 cars this year.
Correct.
One was from Govs, you said, so one's free.
Well, we purchased it with Gov Deal money, yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor? Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. The marked, what's currently unmarked, because that's how they come, the black SUV you're talking about in 2023, which they held for us until after the first year, that was approved by council under capital expenditures.
When was that approved?
When did council, I don't know, whenever they took the vote and approved the budget for 2024. I believe it was last meeting, but it could have been the meeting before, I don't know. It was one of the recent meetings.
In December of 23?
Pardon me?
In December of 23?
Yes, generally you approve the 24 budget
Right,
for the year prior.
right. So when 2024's budget was approved, this was approved in it.
The marked police unit was approved out of capital by council. The unmarked was disapproved out of capital. So we purchased that using the Gov Deals money that I brought in from auction on the equipment that I got from the government for free. So no taxpayer dollars were used to purchase that vehicle. It saves us from having to purchase the detective's vehicle in 2025 out of capital and use taxpayer funds.
So this Gov Deals one will be used as an undercover detective
It
car.
will be used as a detective's car, yes, not undercover. I think everyone knows who our detective is. She would do poorly at undercover work.
Okay, okay, so you're using Gov Deals, you're saying, oh, so taxpayers don't have to pay for it, but we're still paying for stuff. You could have used the Gov Deals for your ballistic helmets, you could have used it for your flock cameras you wanted, you could have used it for.
And the manager will approve that.
I mean, I'm just saying, so it's just a different way of spending our money ultimately.
It's a different way of spending the money that I brought in that didn't come from the taxpayers, yes. Unless you want to go into the macro, and in the macro, yes, because the federal government initially bought many of this equipment, in 98 or 2000, 2004. Yes, taxpayer dollars did go for the federal purchase of it, but when I obtained it from the federal government, once they had, gotten all their utilization out of it, that came to us for free. And then when we put it up on Gov Deals, it was auctioned off, all of that money comes in, not at the expense of any of the taxpayers. So like I said, if you go macro, yes, federally, taxpayers did purchase those, over the years. But certainly the expenses and the revenue, let me back up. The revenue that we bring in from the tax dollars we get from the citizens did not go to pay for any of that. So actually,
Well, if you want to get mad, we're actually.
Saved quite a bit of money on the capital expense that we pushed back to 2025, so we need to ask for that for 2025. And instead of buying a new vehicle, I purchased a used vehicle.
What year is that one?
It's 2015.
Oh, that's nice for 2015.
Say again?
So it looks really nice for 2013.
It was a command vehicle with the city of Cincinnati, so one of their lieutenant colonels or something like that was driving, they probably took very good care of
So
it.
very good care of it. Okay. Are we doing take-home vehicles,
It depends on your position.
like all the officers?
No.
Okay,
Who's allowed to take home vehicles?
Currently, I have a take-home vehicle, Captain Chambers has a take-home vehicle, Lieutenant Workman has a take-home vehicle, and Detective Weir now has a take-home vehicle. Now, I think, if I understand what you're questioning, is occasionally you'll see one of the police cars in an officer's driveway, is that what you're asking?
I'm just asking about take-home vehicles.
Okay, so those are the only issued take-home vehicles, but I will tell you that if an officer has a quick comeback, I will frequently allow them to take a car home, or if they.
Or they can have lunch or something.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I mean to say is that, let's say that an officer works midnights,
Yeah.
and then they have to be in court at 2 p.m.
Right.
I will tell them it's okay to take their car home while they sleep, if that car is not being used by another officer.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, if we're
you may occasionally see them at an officer's house, whether they're having lunch, whether they're stopping in to go to the bathroom, or whether they're in an off-duty status, but they do not routinely take those vehicles home and maintain them there.
right, I mean, I feel like if we have a shortage of cruisers, then maybe we should just not have people taking cruisers home.
We do not have a shortage of cruisers. We have an adequate amount of cruisers.
Okay,
That's why I purchased and done it the way I have, is so that we have the vehicles that we need to accomplish this mission.
okay.
Mr. Hensley, what was the price of the car that you guys got through GovDeals?
The used
Purchase
vehicle I
price.
purchased, $9,515.
That's a
It's a
good,
very good deal, thank you.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I-
How much was the 2023 one?
2023 was approximately $42,685, approximately. It give or take.
Is that gonna be marked?
Pardon me?
That will be
That
marked.
will be marked up, that's why I got it in black. And I don't know if you, perhaps your husband has discussed this with you, getting police cars, new police cars, extraordinarily difficult. We really got lucky being able to get this.
I don't know, the sheriff's office doesn't even buy as many as we do, so I don't know.
They buy far more because they all have to take home cars. But,
We don't know.
yeah, but, many of them do. If you live in the area where you're doing, I don't think your husband has to take home car because he works for 2 different townships, is that?
He did when he was canine, if you're special.
Yeah, if you're
position,
canine, you
yeah.
don't need one. But the allotment, and I don't know who I'm addressing at this point, if someone asked the question, but I'll overhand comment here. The allotment for the marked unit was $55,000, if I remember correctly. I spent $42,000. Now that $55,000 usually goes towards the purchase of the vehicle, and we try to apply some of it towards the upfit of it, because you have to put radios, they're very expensive. Light bars, many times light bars can't be reused. If we had purchased a Tahoe, which we couldn't get, because we've got 4 Tahoes in the last few years, we couldn't get any Tahoes, they are spoken for. The Durangos were much more expensive, and I like them, but I know that there are also maintenance nightmares, or at least that's been my experience. The police interceptor, the Explorer that we got, personally, I have experience with those. In my former job, I had experience with the Tahoes and with Dodge Chargers. I think the police interceptor, the Ford Explorer, is probably the most reliable out of that. It's also the most cost effective. It's the most fuel efficient out of all of those. And I mean, quite frankly, I can reutilize some of the equipment off of one of the Explorers that we're going to be decommissioning and then auctioning off. So, I will utilize as much out of capital as I have to, but I also utilize the GovDeals money we bring in from auction to purchase newer and better equipment where I can. So that's what I'm doing to try to save money.
Well, so I know a lot more, so I'm just gonna end with a couple things and I'll come back next time. 2 things, back to the Tasha thing, because actually Tasha did contact me. And she was just gonna come here tonight and say, hey, you guys got any emails or whatever, Glenna, you emailed her back today. The thing is, you said that you did not receive her first email, and then she said she sent it to you and David. Now, the thing is that I have heard a lot of, I haven't gotten the email. And in particular, Melissa Sexton in January you guys had appointed, who was it? Let me see. I have way too much stuff to go over. But Melissa had applied for the, okay, you're not touching this, but it's too high. She had applied for the park board. And you guys had appointed, let's see, what is it? Oh, Linda Lewis, on 1/3/2023. You guys had appointed Linda Lewis to the Parks and Rec Board for 3 years. And Melissa got up during her public comments and said, hey, I've been for Parks and Rec, and you said, I didn't get your email. And she did, because I actually helped her type it and sent it. So, and then you said, quote unquote, people aren't jumping off the couches to sign up, so just resend it. Pete Sexton, her husband, also this July, just put in for the tax appeals and the personnel appeals. There was no deadline, this had been vacant all year. He put in for it, and then on 10, was it 8, I'm sorry, on 8/1, you guys voted him in. So I don't know where these deadlines are coming from all of a sudden, but I mean, it's always been kind of like you have a Parks and Rec position on there, there's no deadline for that job.
Well, and actually it was dated still at the January 11th deadline was for any positions that were open.
No, if you go to employment, there is no deadline.
Well, if you go back to the charter, technically, those are supposed to be appointed the first of the month, first month of January. If they're not, then the mayor can appoint come the first meeting in February. So there is a deadline if you want it to be voted on and appointed that way. Otherwise, the mayor can just pick and choose and appoint whoever he wants.
No, what I'm saying though is that you're saying that this was due on the 11th at noon.
Right, so we could get it on the agenda this time. So we wanted to get, if you were interested in it.
Right, so what if somebody came up tonight and said, hey, I'm interested in being on the tax appeals board? I mean, if it happens, as long as somebody tells you before the meeting, I don't understand, you've never had this deadline or this cutoff before. Like I said, Pete applied for it in July, you guys swore him in August, I came in the middle of the thing, there's no deadline, there's not even a deadline for your jobs that you have posted, but you're gonna put one for a board?
No, there's always a cutoff date.
For the charter review committee there was? Because I shared it, there was no deadline. I posted it on Facebook, I posted it on the community page. But anyways, I'm just saying, like, this whole I didn't get the email thing is just, it's too much. Come on, so you're telling me she put in and you didn't get her email, and she put in and you didn't get her email. Come on, then maybe we need to get a new IT guy. Maybe that's what you guys should look into, is get a new IT, I don't know where network IT guy is. I mean, I've heard so many times I haven't gotten an email. And then my last thing is, and I'm sorry, I'm frustrated. I'm very frustrated by the things that I've heard tonight. Friday, Mr. Farley. I have, over the course of a year, almost a year, it'll be a year, I think in a few weeks. Over the course of a year, I've received subpoenas. I've received pre-trial dates. I've received court dates, rescheduled, gone, rescheduled. I've had to meet with an attorney to be interviewed. I've had all these things happen. Keep in mind, I'm taking off work and not getting paid. Okay, so now, Monday, get interviewed by his attorney. Now I have to go, I was just subpoenaed Monday. Now I have to take off this Friday to go to court again, unpaid. You guys have the power to make this stop. You guys have the power. There's the prosecutor. You have counsel, you have he enforced, you have and then the prosecutor, and then you have the legal system. You have the power. This is ridiculous. This is a waste of my time and my money. These are all unpaid days that I'm sitting here. I know Mr. Folt, when I sat out here and we had to come in to meet with your prosecutor, he had to drive, it was from Mason. He's like, I had to leave work from Mason and come here. Every time he has to come, it's from Mason. And he's here tonight. I mean, you have these petty misdemeanor charges that you're gonna sit here and crucify. He can spend over a year in jail. Do you guys know that? Over a year in jail? His attorney told me that on Monday. He can spend over a year in jail. Because he was, and I'm not even speaking, so I'm not gonna have him say anything that can be used against him or whatever. But this is ridiculous. Another thing that's ridiculous. It's been a year. You're wasting our tax money. You're wasting police officers, I'm sure, have to come and testify. Glenn, I'm sure you have to come testify. Everybody has to go testify, and we pay you, and then our court system we pay the prosecutor, we pay the court fees, we pay the taxes, and all this wasted money over somebody saying something in a meeting. Anybody, if you said, hey, can you be quiet or leave, and if you don't leave, then you pull them out, and then you arrest him. Come on. There's kids going around here doing drugs. Drunk drivers, drug deals, break-ins, rapes, sexual assaults, domestic violence. I've seen down my street 2 people beating the shit out of each other. The police come. I don't want to come back here. Left, no paperwork. I'm sorry, love law enforcement, but I've seen it. And you're gonna sit here and nail this guy to the wall because your butt hurt? So now I have to go this Friday. Can I charge you guys? Can I bill you for my lost pay? Can I, Mr. Mayor, can I?
Well, you're not the only one that has to lose money also. I have to go as well.
I do too. So do
I
I.
have to take off work also, so
So,
I'm losing money too.
so my question is, can we make a movement to dismiss this?
No, so I don't need you to apply. I see you guys in executive session on each other.
I would love to dismiss this and not have to go to.
I don't want you as a trial coming up Friday. I'm not trying to put any of you in any type of position. Please, no sidebar. This is a violation of the sunshine laws. We have a new council. We're starting fresh. We're gonna do things the right way. Honest, integrity, ethical. Do the right thing. Like I said before, I want every single one of you people to disagree with me on something. If it's your opinion, not because she tells you to, or he tells you to, or somebody out here tells you to. Disagree with me, Melissa, my best friend. Disagree with me because if it's your opinion, I respect you. The puppet sitting up here for knew nothing. You guys never asked questions. You knew nothing going on. You were a yes or no vote. That was it. This is more discussion than I've seen in 5 freaking years. So you have an executive session, correct?
Correct.
Right. So I'm not asking for you guys to say anything right now. Okay, I don't want your opinion. I don't want to know. All I'm asking is for you to sit here and while you're in executive session, discuss, because it is a legal matter, right? So it's covered under the executive session, discuss it, slap him on his wrist, make him pay a fine, make him do community service, whatever it is. Mr. Keener asked him to leave the last meeting when he said stop. Come on, you guys, the meeting after that, you all fought amongst each other. Chrissy, you had asked the mayor to get Chris Sands in line. Where are their charges? Come on. I get it, you need to have order in this meeting and stuff, and I get that, and I'm sitting up here, and you guys wanna go home, and you have business to take care of, and I appreciate you sitting here letting me stand here and talk. But the thing is, you have, and I even said at the beginning of the meeting, this gentleman behind Susan, he said, how do I talk? He said, you have to sign a piece of paper up front, which is ridiculous. Because what if you say something during the meeting that I'm like, oh, you know what, I have a question about that. Let the people freaking come up and talk. This is my right to stand up here and be here. And that's what the 3 of you sold people on, was communication and hearing us. And you know what, if the meeting takes an hour and not 14 minutes, then it takes a freaking hour, twice a month. Or how about all the stuff that people say, you start actually taking care of. You get me an answer, you get me a solution, even if I don't like it. Old business, man, you go back to 2018, you got a long list of old business, everything's just kind of shoved under the rug. But then I look like a bitch coming up here, right? Speaking of, I'd like you guys to look at the Whistleblower Act, because I'm tired of these employees feeling that their jobs are in jeopardy. They have unsafe work conditions, there's legal, ethical, theft of service. There's a lot of things that are going on that I've brought up for years, and you guys want this proof, and you know, they're afraid to lose their jobs. And I promise to honor, no names, no videos, no pictures, no documents. But I do want some type of whistleblower policy put in, so you can review that. We are in charge, you have the ability to do that. If an employee wants to come to somebody, even anonymously, confidentially, they should be able to, without a fear of having any type of penalty or repercussion. Because I will tell you right now, that if anybody comes to you guys and gives you the information that I know that you all have been trying to just be blind to for 5 years, and anybody is to lose their job, I will personally pay for their attorney to sue you. So, that's it for now. So, more for next time. Thank you.
Thank you. So we normally don't do this, but Timmy back, Mr. Back, once you come up, say what you needed to say.
Sorry. He's on the wrong paper.
You signed on the wrong sheet, so
Yeah.
come on up.
Mr. Beck, 31 East Main Street, been a resident of this town for 60 years. So I know these streets very well. Seen a lot of things in this town. But my first thing I want to say on my little list is happy birthday, Mr. Beck.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy
Today's
birthday.
his birthday. A little lighter, getting a little mad, I'm mad too, trust me. But, I got something for all the council members. And I think all the council members, new and old, need to go through every building here. Courthouse, money pit. Need to go through this building, need to go through any property that we own. Need to go down to the maintenance facility and look at everything we own, so you know what you've got. It'd be nice, because not half of you probably don't know what half the stuff is anyway. So maybe you could be explained to why we've got some equipment that, I don't know, are we a city? We should have. Okay? It's 2.5 miles of town. 3,700 people. That's crazy. We're spending money in this town like it's a city. And I see it. It's not my first show. I've run a facility that was fully sewage, water, everything. I've run the facility. So I do kind of know a little bit. Okay. Speaking of wasteful spending, things that's been unaddressed for so many years. Down here on Fools Road, people's houses getting water in their basements. Where are we at on that? Keeps getting kicked down the road like a can. Okay, we got Holder. I bet that's been 10, 20 years that place is flooded. You can go talk to Dink. You can go talk to Stanford that live back here, that it floods all the time. Oh, Gloucester Street, that guy's house, his yard, floods. Where are we at on this stuff? This is all old stuff. Oh, Jamie Johnson, Church Street, her yard's flooded. From the infrastructure stuff that's been in that field since I was a kid. That was a Fallbrook deal. They were gonna build houses back there, if you guys don't know. I can tell you a lot about this town, a lot. I honestly believe that courthouse should be sold. Because I would like for you to come in here and tell us 2.5 miles, 3,700 people, 5 police departments in this town. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against the police. I got family in the police. I got a warehouse over on Springfield Street we used to rent to Homeland Security. So I'm not against it. I'm all for it. But I don't see the justification of how huge our police department is and the money that's going into it. Put it on a levy. Put it on a levy. Let the people of New Lebanon decide, other than Glenn and him. Okay? Am I wrong or am I right? Anybody? It should be that way. We're just wasting spending money. Hey, can somebody tell me what this barn is? Down here at the, going into the waste water treatment with 3 doors. Can you tell me what that is?
Barn.
Metal shed behind the salt barn?
Behind the salt barn
Yeah.
is the new salt barn.
It's not a salt barn, I hate to tell you this. You can go look at salt barns, they're not made out of sheet metal. It's concrete, tarp.
Was it just built?
Yeah, 3 doors, oh, wait a minute. 3 doors, so water can get in on the salt.
So.
What's it built out of?
Google,
So.
Google salt
So on
water, and
that,
you see what
I
they are.
did,
Whoever designed this thing is stupid.
I did look at it, it's made out of sheet metal.
Is there any brick?
It's a Rust-Oleum.
It's got, a concrete slab, and from years of experience dealing with salt, being in the lawn
It'll
care and
rust.
landscaping industry, that thing is gonna be gone in no time.
Usually if
And
you
it
do
does
it,
not look like any salt barn
You can
that I.
put
Usually
concrete
they-
barriers in there and it's not.
usually if they make a salt barn, they at least have a brick wall, even if you do that, it's like a dome.
Yeah, that's not what
That's
this,
salt.
that's not what this looks like, and I think the other issue.
Does,
Now
we have a,
that-
do you have
now-
a picture of it?
Do you have
Anybody
a-
have a picture
Do
of
you have a
it?
picture of it? The next thing is, it's got 3 different openings, and I know that from the looks of our salt barn that we have currently, and maybe Mr. Mayor could fill us in a little bit more, they have to pick up the salt and take it in there and deliver it inside our old salt barn. This new one, you're gonna have to do the same, you're not gonna be able to get a truck in there,
Dump salt and.
and I can't see that happening.
I'm a maintenance manager.
That's not a salt barn.
That's not a salt barn.
Sorry, guys.
You can call
I
it a
mean,
salt
you
barn,
guys
but
need
that's
to
not a
see
salt
this
barn.
stuff.
What did we, just curious.
And I'm not done.
What-
I've got lots more to do.
I'll
We're
hand it.
not doing
That
it
is
now.
not a salt barn.
I know
Looks
it's
like a
under
garage.
construction right now, it's not.
Yeah, I went down there and I.
Usually it's a big dome.
Right.
Looked at some things.
I got family in the county.
Well, I just know the city of Dayton, it's a big dome, and I know Northwich, it's a
What's
big
that picture
dome.
of?
You want me to send you a picture? Do you have to have a picture?
Just put it back up there so we sort of rest.
Yeah, the other ones didn't see it.
I just hit the wrong
How
one.
much was it?
Oh, this stuff infuriates me. Sorry.
How much was the salt barn?
Last I heard, something 90,000?
Bill, do you know?
I think it was 90,000, but I'd have to check.
How much?
I said, I think it's 90,000.
That was the budget for it.
That's look like,
Is
that
is there any way we can get
would look like where you store.
the actual
animals.
price on
Yeah.
what we pay for that?
I'm sorry, man. It just infuriates me when I see stuff.
That was the budget for it, that wasn't necessarily.
Thank you.
That was, right.
You'll give us the total, right, Bill? Thank you.
Thank you.
One more thing. I'd like for Glenna to go back in the records. When Linda Verbal was a council member. And I'm sorry to say it, but Scott Brock was told if he got a raise, he had to get his license for the water treatment plant, and it never happened. That's what Linda Verbal said, she was a councilman, and that's what I'm going by. So it should be on the minutes back then. Somebody needs to dig it up. If they would. Did we lose our sewer guy? That takes care of the waste?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, well, this, that's okay, that's a rumor, man, okay, the players tried that. So, that's all I got to say.
What do you mean, Scott
Oh, I
was supposed
heard,
to, what does that mean? I'm lost.
Scott, what? You said-
About a license, water?
Yeah, you're supposed to
What
get
does that mean?
the water treatment
I think
license
he would attest the water.
for testing water.
Instead of us.
Because we're paying an awful lot of money to a supervisor and a foreman that don't have any kind of qualifications that I can see. We hire people that are supposed to have qualifications according to your papers you put out. Let's see, you're all supposed to have CDLs. Do they all? Can you answer that?
I can say that Glenna said they had CDLs, she didn't say exactly what CDLs they had, but she did, because I did ask about that. She did get up with me, said that they had CDLs, but did not state.
They actually don't all have CDL.
Well,
Yeah,
you
that's what
stated
you're-
that some of them did, but you didn't state which
Correct.
CDL
When
classification that
you
they
put out
had.
your job description thing, it says that they had to have a CDL, and if they didn't, they had to get it within a year. That was quite a while back, you can probably look that up, don't quote me on it, but they're all supposed to have that. And the lights down here at the adolescent center, you're gonna have a wreck down there, You've been warned, you've been told. I don't know why we can't fix it. Yeah, Dick Cunningham's a good electrician. He's done some stuff for me. I've done electric too. But it ain't hard to trace wires down.
Now, by Dollar General, which I
I'm
don't
gonna
ask
ask them
about.
about Castle.
There's a
And I
short,
brought- I
it's
brought-
bad,
It's
I brought
bad.
I have to inquire again on it, and they are,
Oh, you're talking about Pet Center.
I hope nobody gets hurt.
It's down there by the Dollar General and the juvenile, and I did bring that up, in the meeting.
yeah.
I haven't heard nothing back yet on it,
I've
but
asked.
Is it the lights behind it?
it's the ones going down all the way back down from the juvenile
I
center.
don't go down that way, so that's why.
It is, I've been down there, so I know you're referring to, I've asked about it. Yeah.
Traffic light up here in the middle of town,
Is that one going away?
is it fixed?
It's because the components that run that light are obsolete, we can't get replacements when it gets super cold.
Okay.
Then we set it so,
I've
One's red, one's yellow.
So it's staying.
There's been a lot of wrecks there. Trust me, I saw 6 cars in front of my house.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what they were talking about.
The light, the traffic light. Yeah, I'm hoping it wasn't gonna go away, because I saw 6 cars in front of my house get towed. Where people hit it. You know, thank you very much. Glad to see some new faces. And guess what? People in Lebanon are listening and watching. Trust me.
So
Thank you,
can we,
Mr. Back.
so can we, when can we find out about the lights?
we've looked into it, it's very costly, so we'll look into it again and see what it'll cost to fix them.
Okay, next is administrative staff comments, police chief.
The only comment I have is that we recently went live with our bicycle registry. We currently not had anyone register. I mean, people probably aren't thinking about bicycling right now in this weather. But, hopefully that will help address any of the times, bikes are either stolen, lost, or otherwise misplaced. We can kind of get them back to the owner a little bit quicker. So anyone who has children or a bicycle of their own, they want to register it, please visit our website, it's available.
Anybody have anything for the police chief? Hey, chief, overall, what's the condition of you, what do you think is gonna last a while?
The condition of our police vehicles?
Yeah, the ones you just got.
So the 2 oldest in the fleet right now, one of them is being replaced with the brand new 2023. So that one's gonna go to auction. The other one, the second oldest, was initially purchased by the fire department, then turned over to zoning. It got very little use, so to try to conserve funds and not have to buy another police vehicle, I asked if that could be converted into police use. I was permitted to do that. It is in very good shape right now. I think it's a 2016, so it's a little bit older, yes. But I don't think it has any more than about 13,000 miles on it right now, maybe 13,500. I don't manage the fleet that way. I have somebody that does it, but I do keep an eye on it. I think that it's certainly going to last, long enough for us to be able to, budget for a replacement marked unit. Those do continue to go up. I'm gonna continue, to maximize them, though. We do maintain them. When I got here, I noted that one of the things we did not do was have alignments done. And I found that we were eating through tires, so we now get alignments every time we replace the tires. We have, a preventative maintenance program that's gonna make them last as long as we possibly can. So in short, or at least I'll try to be a little shorter, the marked units that we have should last a very long time. Again, it really just depends, the quality of the vehicle, and quite frankly, the officers do take good care of them. But the rigors of daily police work can be rough on them. With regard to the unmarked that we have, mine and Captain Chambers is getting his is a little bit older. The mileage is still relatively low, and it's not become a maintenance nightmare. So I don't see, for the foreseeable future, I don't plan on replacing that. The Malibu that Lieutenant Workman is driving was obtained from the government, so it was cost-free. It did need some repairs. We did that with officers on staff who have the ability to do that, and quite frankly, did it with very, very little cost. It was a 2009. It is a 2009 Malibu. But when we got it, the mileage was so incredibly low, and it was clearly taken care of by the government. So I expect that's gonna last a very long time. And I've already kind of figured that, those I don't plan on replacing through our regular revenue streams. Those are one of those things I would rather use the gov deals money, you know, that we bring in for something like that. With regard to the new to us, 2015 that we just purchased, for the detective, it does have higher mileage on it, but it was maintained very, very well. Again, the city of Cincinnati's maintenance, was really impeccable. I mean, this thing is beautiful. I mean, it looks like a new car. I expect it to last, and truly, our detective generally doesn't have to drive great distances. So I don't expect the mileage to go up greatly over the next couple of years, but when it comes time to replace that, I'd like to try to keep that off of capital as long as I possibly can. So as I said, we've been able to push back to 2025 before we purchase an unmarked. This could very well be a Band-Aid to get us through until that happens, but I think we purchased well enough that I don't think I'll need to replace that unmarked in 2025. So I think they're gonna last for at least the foreseeable future without any need to replace them. That's if none of them get destroyed, damaged, or have, you know, catastrophic maintenance.
So overall, then, we're kind of a win-win. By getting these extra cars, we're saving taxpayer money on buying new cars each year, every year and a half. The longevity, you think, will go out 2 years, maybe?
Well, with regard to the marked units, I can't really do much with the marked units. Those are, you know, for when they're being used for regular patrol purposes, they may be in high-speed incidents. I can't skimp on those at all. However, on our unmarked, I can push those out fairly long. They are not gonna be involved in, much in the way of high-speed incidents. So I anticipate that those will be pushed out.
We're getting our money's worth then.
Oh, we're more than.
Okay.
And in fact, we're getting many of these things for free.
Sure.
And maintaining them or repairing them, because that's the one thing I will say about the government, is sometimes the equipment does not come to us in perfect condition. It has different condition codes. I look at those very carefully, and I look at the pictures and talk to the folks to see, to the extent that they'll tell me anyway, are these really repairable, and is it easy? And then I talk to the, basically 2 officers we have on staff who are skilled in that, and ask if they have the ability to do it, and they can do it inexpensively. And we don't really try to get into anything that's gonna be too cost prohibitive or a maintenance nightmare.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody have anything for the police chief? No? Fire chief?
The only thing I have tonight is we found out on January 6th that we did get a Marks grant through the Ohio Department of Commerce / State Fire Marshal's Office. It wasn't what I asked for. I asked for 46,000. They gave us 10,000, but that will offset some of the capital cost in the 2024 budget for the Marks radios. If anybody that doesn't know, the Marks radios by 2025 have to have upgraded technology in them, which is causing some of the radios to have to be replaced because they're, excuse me, they have to have unique identifier software in them. So the IDs cannot be duplicated between radios. So the cost to upgrade some of the radios is high for what the age of the radios were. That's why we chose to replace some of those radios. Some of them are out of date and cannot have software added to them to update them. So it'll offset some of the capital budget in 2024 for the fire department.
Anybody have anything for fire chief?
Yeah, how much is the total cost on that? Do you remember? For the Marks radios?
We allocated 100,000 for radios.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I do. Have you ever had any sort of events for the public, like at the firehouse, like bingo or whatnot?
So the last thing we did was an open house. Typically those do happen around the time of the Fire Safety Week, which is usually, I think, first or second week in October, every year. We did that, which we had never done before. We did that, and then the plan was to move forward and do it again. COVID hit. The other thing we do is every year we do Santa during Cookies with a Cop. And then we do, the last several years, we've done Santa in the fire truck throughout the community on that same day. As far as bingo, we do, if you're asking if we do bingo for the purposes of like West Ellis doing bingo,
Just
we
like
do,
once a month in the cold months, just something.
we don't have that tax. That I would guess, and I'm not saying I know for 100%, most people that run a bingo run that through their association, not through the actual fire department. Bingo and any other kind of gambling requires a specific tax exemption status that we do not have. So that's just something we don't do. It's been brought up several times through the years. And the association does not have that tax exemption classification to be able to do that.
Do you know how to obtain
I don't,
any of this?
I don't, the association is not tied to the fire, it's the fire association, but it's a separate entity from the fire department.
Okay,
I am a non-voting member. As the fire chief, I'm a non-voting member of that. I can bring forth no motions, no resolutions. I can't vote on anything. I'm completely out of that. They have their own president, vice president, treasurer, secretary. So other than attending meetings or providing them information if they ask, I'm a non-voting member of that organization.
okay, thanks.
Anybody else have anything for fire chief? Zoning compliance officer.
Nothing this evening.
Anybody have anything for the zoning compliance officer? Chief financial officer.
Just my December reports.
Okay, motion to adopt the December 2023 financial report.
So moved.
Second.
We have a roll call, please.
Ms. Walker, that you the second.
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Locke,
Yes.
Councilmember Joy,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Atkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Sexton,
Yes.
Councilmember Back,
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Count 7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Okay, we are going to skip the executive session for you, just because the attorney's not present or available for
Legal matters.
our legal matters, so we're gonna skip the executive session for this evening. Does anybody have anything for the financial officer? No? Service department superintendent, anything?
There's nothing this evening.
Does anyone have anything for the service department?
I would like to, and this might not be the right place to address it, but when I did go down to the service department, I did notice that there's a lot of vehicles there and a lot of stuff just laying out and about, and it kind of looks like a junkyard. So I don't know if maybe we can look into getting that cleaned up a little bit and getting rid of some of the vehicles that are just sitting there. Looks like they're wasting away. But the only reason I bring that up is because if it was a matter of zoning and somebody's property, that that would definitely be getting written up. So I think we should set the standard across the board for, you know, if we're gonna regulate the people keep their properties up kept, that so should our service department. And it looks really bad. Like there's a lot of cars. And that is all.
Anyone else? No. Municipal managers comment.
I do not have any comments this evening.
Does anybody have anything for the municipal manager?
Couple people asked, and I just wondering what we did in the past, and I don't know if this is to you or to the police. Snow emergency, once it goes to a snow emergency, everybody is permitted to park on their yard.
Yes.
Because it has to be off the road, is that correct? Because I know we've had some trouble last year, not people not parking in their driveways and keeping their cars out, is that correct?
Yes, they need to remove them from the street.
They go allowed to park in
And they
their
can
yard.
park in their yard, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And, the other, but, somebody had asked, what if it is a company vehicle, where they have to have them coned out? They're not,
They're probably gonna leave them on the street, and they may get snowed in.
okay,
The snowplow may block them in. And the reason they're moving them is so we get the snowplow down the street.
right, I thought that was the case, but I wanna make sure before I responded. The other thing, a couple of people asked, and I wanna make sure I'm right. They haven't been able to watch anything at the meetings. How quickly are you putting, I know they're not technically approved minutes, but how quickly are you putting them out there for the public to see?
The minutes don't go out until after they're approved, but the recording.
The recording is what I mean, I
Recordings,
apologize.
they'll either go out tonight, depending on how late the meeting is, or, and how long it takes it to process, or in the morning.
Okay.
On the-
There's some
they're on the
that
website.
are wanting to, you know,
Yeah,
they don't come out, because they wanna see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and they're posted to our website.
There was another one, I apologize, if I remember, I'll ask it later.
And then I do have a couple questions. This is going back on the service department, but I'm gonna see what you have to say. On the resume, does it say that they're supposed to have their CDL required?
Resume, or on the job
On the job,
description?
yes.
There's
Within a year.
two different job descriptions out there. One is a non-CDL and one is a CDL.
Okay, the ones that's supposed to have the CDL, did they get it within that year's time that is employed right now?
I have to go back and look.
Can you check for us?
Yeah.
And then on Scott, if, that was said at the meeting, has Scott ever took any of the auto testing tests?
I would have to check. He hasn't since I've been here.
Okay, and could you see, and if so, how many times he's actually took it, if he has? And that's it.
Was he supposed to? He's saying that it was back when Linda Verbal was here.
But you wasn't,
That was.
you
a long
wasn't
time ago.
sitting,
No, that was not under.
just for record.
Anybody have anything else for the city manager? Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah. All the requests, can we see those on the next minutes?
What do you mean by requests?
Well, the gentleman back there is, and Shannon's looking at other, other questions, or can we see what the questions are? And somehow get the answers for
I can try by the next meeting, but some of them may take longer than that. But yeah, that's what somebody asked me to do, an update under old business.
them? Okay, because it's getting all hairy up there. I know you gotta fill up all the questions, but we gotta get the answers out there before.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they're not a question. If you say investigate this, that's not really a question. I don't really have a way to get an answer back, and that may take longer than from meeting to meeting.
And then if we do have an investigation, give an update after the investigation is done, so.
Right, after it's done.
That needs to be stated, so the people know that, we're not gonna get the answer this meeting, but possibly the next meeting, correct?
Correct.
Right or wrong?
Actually, just update, just do a brief description of what, and then answer any questions that didn't get answered already tonight, and then like if there's an investigation where this is still pending, we'll get back with you maybe next week.
We're gonna, is that one of the things that, I guess was tabled about the annexation, so that's gonna be tabled then, right?
The annexation, I'm gonna look into the Supreme Court ruling, or I'll Brown look into it, and then.
And I don't think that stops it or anything,
No.
it's just looking into it. So
Correct.
it's not preventing, it's just looking into it.
Because
That's it.
if you don't,
It's just more information.
We
Yeah,
can't,
yeah, just being informed.
the annexation's not been voted on, for us. So it's gonna start with us to vote on it at the end of the day.
Correct.
So she's just looking at it to give the information that is needed, to be able to give it to Tim, so Tim understands that situation. But it's not stopping the process, like, you know, we like to have more information, and then we will vote on it eventually.
Correct.
I was looking at the information, but that's, I don't make me happy because you're talking about. I don't. Take this and throw it where your phone's up. You're talking about taxpaying money coming in, and look at this 1% ain't gonna last for, you know, years and years and years, because people don't wanna pay higher taxes. So the only way you're gonna be able to get tax money is to annex some property and get, you know, hopefully somebody else will go to, what do you call it, somebody else comes in and say, hey, I'll buy that 100 acres, we're gonna, you know, and build some houses on it. That would be great, that'd be more tax paying money for the village. But, just to stay where we're at, that ain't gonna work, we're gonna, you're gonna go bust, you're gonna go broke. Thank you.
Anything else for the municipal manager? Council member comments. Mr. Joy?
I have nothing.
Mr. Beck?
I have nothing.
Mr. Perkins?
I had my comments.
Gotcha. I don't get any extra.
Uh,
Any extra? No extra?
No, not at this time, I'm gonna shut my mouth before I get in trouble.
I have nothing else, thank you.
I do. Do we have guidelines for landlords? Like the upkeeps on,
There,
on landlords, like their property, like how are
They
the,
fall under the same guidelines as every other property. Is
okay,
that what you're talking about?
yeah,
They can't,
businesses, like,
so like if a rental property has cars parked in their yard,
yeah,
yeah, they will get, the rental person should get a letter and the homeowner gets a letter too.
okay,
So yes, I mean, they fall under the same guidelines. We don't have additional guidelines for rental property.
okay.
Any more council member comments? Vice Mayor comments?
I just want to say, everybody stay safe and stay warm, it's gonna be cold.
Anything else? for Vice Mayor?
That's it.
Hey, you can see by the clock on the wall that we've gone over a little bit tonight. But I think it's worth it. We need to learn, especially the new ones. We need to learn and we need to understand what the issues are in this town. And if you need to vent and you come up, vent. It's nothing personal. You know, we'll have some coffee afterwards or breakfast at the diner, whatever we need to do. But we made a promise. We're gonna hold to the promise. We're gonna adhere to the promise, and we're gonna get things fixed that need to be fixed. This is our second meeting. I think we're off to a pretty good start. We're listening and we're taking notes, pages of them. So we'll continue moving forward. That's what we have to do. So I appreciate y'all being patient, coming out tonight and listening to us. And I thank you very much for the time, okay? And with that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So,
Second. The tie.
Councilmember Beck,
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Sacramento,
Yes.
Councilmember Joy,
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Long,
yes.
Vice Mayor Atkins.
Yes.
Count 7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.